Hi folks. Right, holding the ukulele then. This can be difficult for some of you to get comfortable with as it's kind of so small and fiddly, particularly if you've got a ukulele like this one that comes without a strap. So I'm going to show you kind of sitting down how you can get comfortable with your ukulele, hopefully how you can get comfortable with it. The same rules really apply to when you're standing up, so if I show you sitting, you should be able to do this standing up as well. The same rules apply. So firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you holding a ukulele that doesn't have a strap on, and then I'll show you one with a strap, and spoiler, it is easier with a strap, okay? It is a lot easier with a strap, and it will take off a lot of pressure, particularly on your finger and hand, okay? So I'll leave it up to you whether you want to try and get hold of a strap and get one fitted, as it will make life easier. But people have been playing the ukulele for a very long time without straps. It's entirely possible to do, so let's get into it. Firstly, ukulele, really, if you're sitting down, you should be aiming to have a straight back, okay, with your head up and your feet on the floor. It's okay if I've actually got a footrest down here. It's okay if you want to put one foot up onto a rest, that's fine. But really you want to be kind of forward facing and not have a twist in your back, okay? We're really looking to have good posture when we do this, okay? So that we don't end up doing what I call the Quasimodo, okay? Where you're hunched over, and that's just terrible for your back, for your neck, for your arms, okay? That's really bad, and it really doesn't help your hands get into a good position for playing either. So we're going to avoid the Quasimodo, and we're going to try and keep our back straight. The ukulele itself then is going to come in to about the diaphragm area. For me, this is kind of the top of my beer gut, around about the bottom of my rib cage, and traditionally this is fairly standard, okay? You bring it in around about there, and you'll notice I've got my sleeve rolled up here. The flat of my arm here will come across the ukulele and hold it in place here, okay? So there's a small bit of pressure going on there to stop it from falling away, and the bare skin is better at kind of gripping that than your slippery kind of jumper sleeve, okay? So that goes on there. This hand then is going to support it on the neck here, and obviously this is going to be fingering chords and doing business over here whilst trying to support the neck. And that's where having a strap can make things easier, because it'll mean you won't have to support the neck all the time. The problem you'll run into fairly quick is trying to move chords and kind of moving your hand around, and this is trying to flop about the place. So you have to try and keep it held here and move this hand in a way that still gives some support to the uke when you move. And to do that, what I like to do is, if you think about your hand kind of like this, okay, you're going to hold it out like this, like you're going to shake someone's hand. And the ukulele then is going to come down to roughly where the index finger and the palm meet, okay, and actually just underneath the base of that index finger, round about there, okay. So the ukulele wants to drop onto there, and just hold it like that. Just hold it like that with your hand there and your forearm here, and you should find now that that's not dropping, it's not falling anywhere. Now let your thumb rest on the back of the neck and swing this hand round and bring your fingers in, okay? And if you've had a look at any of your chords yet, why don't you try a C chord? Okay, just try and put one finger down. That's roughly the position we should try to be in when we're playing the uke. Now that will change a little bit from time to time, but that in general is a good position to be in, okay? So holding it there. Now some people prefer, I guess maybe depending on your arm length, to actually tuck the ukulele into the elbow. So if I was here, that would mean bringing the ukulele a little bit more into that elbow and getting a bit more of a grip there with sort of both bits of my arm, okay? I don't have big kind of Popeye style biceps, but I've got enough over here to kind of hold that in place there. Now I actually don't really like that myself, that doesn't work for me. I find if I do that, then this hand ends up too far over here for strumming. I mean, I could curl it back in on itself, but this is really uncomfortable now. I feel like I've got a little T-Rex arm, and I don't want a T-Rex arm. So I actually prefer to have my forearm back here, and that puts me in a good position for strumming, which is roughly, good position for strumming is going to be anywhere from the back of the sound hole up to the start of the neck. If your neck comes a little bit further down, you can think of it as maybe the end of the body. Okay, anywhere in that sort of area there is pretty good for strumming. You can go a little bit further this way, some people do, but again, that really doesn't work for me. I find if I come too far over the neck, my finger starts bashing into the side of the neck when I'm strumming, and that very quickly starts to eat up the skin on my finger, and it's very unpleasant. So it's a little bit nicer back here. The finger can move a bit freer through those strings. Okay, so forearm on the body or tucked into the elbow. What happens in that hand is the same in both cases. Now that is really kind of the best way to hold the ukulele, but I know that for some of you, if you're maybe like me and when you've not got a ukulele in your hands, you like to slouch and relax a little bit, especially when you're at home and you're maybe playing the uke on the sofa or something like that. You want to relax a bit more with it, and you might find that you naturally want to kind of get this down on a leg. Now that's okay, it's not great to be honest, because the uke is so small. If you probably start losing it off the camera if I bring this down here, but if I put that bit, like I would a guitar, onto my thigh, all of a sudden the ukulele is incredibly low, and actually what happens is my wrist ends up kind of coming at it from not a great angle, or I've got to really drop my shoulder to get underneath it, and both of those things are really a bit unnatural. So you don't really want this part of the ukulele on your leg. Okay, if you're going to put it on your leg, then drop this back end onto the leg and have it angled up. Okay, so it's like this. I know you'll lose that a little bit off the camera there, but that is sitting on my thigh. Okay, and have it up at an angle like this. This angle is important when you're holding it into you here, whether it's with your arm or your elbow. It should have a little bit of upwards angle in the neck as well. Okay, really the neck never wants to be horizontal. If it is, it's just about passable. Definitely never ever wants to face downwards. If your ukulele is facing the floor, okay, then you need to correct that and get it back up the other way again. So it can rest on your leg like that, and actually doing that, you might like that to start with. It might alleviate a little bit of pressure of having to hold it into yourself if you just let it rest down there. Now your strumming hand is a little bit freer to move around. You've not got to worry about it flying away from you too much. The chair you sit in will help you with this as well. Okay, if you're sat in quite a high chair and your thigh is sloping off down towards the floor, if you drop that ukulele on your thigh, it's going to try and slide away. So try and sit with a flat thigh. Okay, in the sofa you might find that your butt sinks into it a bit, and actually you end up kind of a bit like this. Okay, and your knees are kind of up in the air and your bum goes down below your knees. Really, that's not a great position to be playing in. I always have to give myself a slap wrist when I find myself sat in the sofa playing a guitar or a ukulele, because it does promote bad posture, and you will find you might run into more trouble with wrist, arm, back, neck pain. Okay, so really an office chair or a dining room chair, something with a hard bottom, or like me, you can cheat and put a cushion on it, that's okay. All right, but something that maybe isn't the sofa would be best. So when you've got your ukulele into some sort of comfortable position, then you're good to go. But what if that's not working for you? One big disclaimer I should say is that for ladies, you might actually have a little bit of an extra issue trying to get this to sit flat against your chest here. Okay, you might have to adapt this position. It might end up a little bit further out, or maybe a little bit lower down for you. Okay, and that's fine as long as we're still trying to keep an upwards angle in that neck and we're not letting it drop away or fall away from us. Okay, now one thing that will make that a lot easier, and I said it already, is a strap. So let me switch out ukuleles to my other ukulele. This is my main ukulele with my makeshift strap. Okay, some ukes, as I mentioned in my parts of the ukulele video. Some ukes will have buttons or pegs on them to have straps on naturally. Mine doesn't, so I've rigged this one up. If I put that over my head here, okay, and important to note, when I put that strap on, okay, it's not, oh, let's see if I can do it wrong for you. It's not just over my neck, okay, it's not like that. Your arm, your strumming arm, goes through that as well, so make sure there's enough length in your strap for that to happen. And now, look what happens, hands free. The ukulele is automatically in that good position. It's sat in the middle of my body. There's an upwards angle in the neck, and if I'm chilly I can roll my jumper sleeve down, okay, and I don't have to worry about supporting the neck as much now because the strap is taking care of that for me. So this really does make life a bit easier, particularly if your strap goes around the headstock up here. That gives it a lot of support. If your strap clips on under here, you can find that actually it still is a bit neck heavy and might want to tip away. So even if you've got a button there, you don't have to use it. You can still take a bit of string, remember, under the strings, okay, not over the strings, but like mine is there, it goes under those strings. That will give you a nice bit of support on that ukulele. I have seen, and you might find them out there as well, the straps that kind of clip in to the sound hole. Those are okay. But I will say that they don't give you that neck support, okay? They hold the uke up here, and it might help you a little bit. It might help just kind of keep it a little bit more comfortable and steady, but you'll still have the left hand trouble of supporting the uke whilst playing it. And that's the biggest issue, I think, for a lot of you to start with, is trying to kind of keep hold of this thing when you're trying to move chords around, okay? So remember the handshake and supporting the uke as you try and move those chords around as well. So hopefully that helps you find a comfortable position to get that ukulele in. It might feel a little odd at first because it's new, but you'll soon kind of get into the swing of it, okay? So have some fun with that, and I'll see you next time.